It's massively hypocritical. Andy Signore claims that he will not give up his sources to the demands of Blake Lively's subpoena. In a growing legal saga that has captivated Hollywood and media circles alike, digital media personality Andy Signore has found himself at the center of controversy after being subpoenaed by Blake Lively's legal team. The actress, best known for her roles in Gossip Girl and A Simple Favor, is reportedly pursuing a wide-reaching legal case related to defamation, privacy violations, and potential smear campaigns involving fellow actor Justin Baldoni. At the heart of the subpoena issued to Signore is an effort to identify the origins of certain leaked and allegedly defamatory content circulated via social media and video platforms. Signore, a well-known voice in online commentary and pop culture criticism, has publicly declared that he will not comply with demands that would require him to disclose his confidential sources. Calling the subpoena massively hypocritical, Signore argues that Lively's legal maneuver contradicts principles of free speech and journalistic independence. This article offers an in-depth exploration of the legal conflict, the key players involved, the broader implications for digital journalism, and the potential consequences for Hollywood's image in the age of influencer media and viral storytelling. The entire chain of events traces back to the heated legal and public feud between actors Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni. Once thought to be close collaborators on the film, It Ends With Us, tensions between the two allegedly spiraled behind the scenes over creative disagreements and production rights. According to industry insiders, the conflict quickly devolved into a personal and professional standoff, with both parties accusing each other of backdoor sabotage and contractual misconduct. Lively, known for her fiercely guarded privacy, reportedly became alarmed when sensitive information about the dispute began to surface across various internet platforms. What was once a private legal issue escalated into a full-blown media spectacle, drawing in personalities, pundits, and anonymous accounts alike. Platforms like YouTube, TikTok, and Twitter/X became central battlegrounds where narratives were crafted, videos were dissected, and screenshots of alleged conversations were circulated. Within weeks, the Lively Baldoni feud transformed into a trending pop culture event, sparking debates over accountability, celebrity entitlement, and the power of digital creators. Andy Signore, known for his Popcorned Planet channel, was one of the most vocal figures covering the feud. Through live streams, panel discussions, and in-depth videos, Signore analyzed the emerging evidence and hosted guests who claimed to have insider knowledge. Legal action against commentators. In June 2025, Blake Lively's legal team began issuing subpoenas to various media personalities and content creators who had publicly commented on the situation. Among the recipients were Andy Signore, Candace Owens, and Perez Hilton, all figures with large audiences and varying degrees of involvement in the drama. The subpoenas were reportedly issued as part of a broader strategy to trace the origin of certain statements and content Lively's legal team describes as defamatory or misleading. Some of the material allegedly referenced private legal documents, audio recordings, and texts not available to the public. According to court filings obtained by multiple outlets, the subpoenas demand access to internal communications between commentators and their sources, metadata and IP logs from videos or streams discussing the feud, any compensation agreements for guests appearing on such programs, information about anonymous informants. Andy Signore issued a strongly worded response to the subpoena on his YouTube channel. In a live broadcast watched by over 500,000 viewers within 48 hours, Signore described Lively's legal action as a blatant attack on free speech and a dangerous precedent for independent media. Greater than, "This is massively hypocritical," Signore said. Blake Lively claims to support press freedom and transparency, but the moment the press covers something she doesn't like, She wants to shut it down. I'm not giving up my sources. I'm not handing over personal conversations. That's not how journalism works, even on YouTube. Signore's refusal has sparked debates about the boundaries of journalism in the digital age. While traditional journalists are protected under various shield laws in the US, the legal status of online commentators and content creators is less clearly defined. Shield laws exist in many US states and offer protection to journalists who refuse to reveal confidential sources. However, the application of these laws to internet personalities is contested. Courts have traditionally granted protections to accredited journalists and those working within established media organizations. But with the rise of independent creators, legal interpretations have had to evolve. Legal experts say that if Signore is treated as a journalist, he may be able to invoke shield laws. However, if the court classifies him as an entertainer or commentator, those protections may not apply. The Signore subpoena raises uncomfortable questions for thousands of independent journalists and commentators who rely on social media platforms to disseminate information. If Signore is forced to comply, it could set a precedent that limits the ability of online creators to report on public interest stories, especially those involving celebrities or political figures. Greater than if we allow Hollywood figures to use their money and power to silence YouTubers and podcasters, we're going to lose one of the last independent voices in media, said media law professor Dr. Elisa Ramos. It's crucial that courts take this moment to consider how shield laws apply in the digital realm. Blake Lively has remained largely silent in public about the specifics of the case. However, her legal representatives have issued multiple statements emphasizing that the subpoenas are part of a broader effort to prevent the spread of false and harmful information. Greater than Ms. Lively is not seeking to silence criticism, her attorney said in a recent press briefing. What we are pursuing is accountability for those who recklessly distribute private or fabricated material that causes real harm to individuals. The statement also emphasized Lively's concern for the mental health of those affected by the scandal, noting that certain misinformation has led to threats, online harassment, and loss of reputation. Some critics argue that Lively's lawsuit goes beyond protecting her rights and ventures into territory that could stifle open dialogue. Others argue that given the magnitude of the leaks and the damage they may have caused, her team's approach is both legal and morally justified. A former PR executive for another Hollywood actress commented anonymously, "Greater than celebrities have long faced rumors and gossip, but what's different now is the reach and permanence of internet commentary. Once something goes viral, even if it's false, it sticks. If Lively believes people conspired to spread private information, she has every right to investigate how and why." One of the most pressing issues raised by this case is the question, what qualifies someone as a journalist in the 21st century? Traditional gatekeepers like newspapers, TV networks, and accredited wire services no longer hold a monopoly on information. Today, someone with a smartphone, a ring light, and a YouTube channel can rival the audience of established outlets. Andy Signore has repeatedly described himself as an independent journalist, citing his years of work on Screen Junkies, his current channel Popcorned Planet, and numerous exclusives he's broken. But critics say that much of his content leans more toward entertainment than rigorous journalism. Greater than the concern isn't that Signore is expressing opinions, said ethics consultant Lauren Halber. It's that he may be presenting speculation or unverified claims as fact. The ethics of journalism require verification, not just amplification. As expected, public opinion is split. Supporters of Blake Lively praise her for taking a stand against misinformation and exploitation, especially in a media ecosystem they view as hostile to women in power. Meanwhile, defenders of Andy Signore say the subpoena is an overreach, and an attempt to punish dissenting voices. YouTube comment sections, Reddit threads, and Twitter/X posts show heated arguments, with many fans choosing sides not based on legal facts, but on their emotional connection to the personalities involved. Both Lively and Signore have faced calls for boycotts and cancellation. Some fans have started petitions to support Signore's refusal to comply, while others are calling for YouTube to suspend his channel if he continues to promote what they see as conspiratorial misinformation. The situation echoes broader debates about cancel culture, free speech, and digital accountability that have played out in numerous recent celebrity scandals. The Lively Signore battle is part of a larger trend of Hollywood elites clashing with internet-native personalities. In previous years, actors, musicians, and directors have taken issue with online commentary, but rarely responded with formal legal action. Lively's aggressive approach marks a turning point. Greater than, "We're seeing a power struggle between old media and new," said journalist Kiana Fielding. Celebrities are used to controlling the narrative through agents and publicists. YouTubers and independent media are messing up that model. The next stages of the legal case will likely involve court hearings to determine whether the subpoenas are enforceable and whether Signore's refusal constitutes contempt of court. Legal experts say the case could end up influencing how courts treat online journalism for years to come. If the case moves to trial, it will draw even more attention, possibly prompting congressional discussions about federal shield laws and digital media protections. The dispute between Blake Lively and Andy Signore is more than a Hollywood feud. It's a litmus test for the future of journalism, free speech, and digital accountability. As legal battles unfold, the eyes of the media world are watching closely, waiting to see whether courts will protect the independence of online voices or prioritize celebrity control over public narratives. Signore's defiance and Lively's determination have laid bare the complexities of fame, privacy, and the evolving responsibilities of those who shape the stories we consume every day. Hollywood thrives on drama, but few feuds have captured public imagination quite like the ongoing saga between Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni. Their once-celebrated collaboration on the film adaptation of It Ends With Us spiraled into an intense public dispute that has now become the focus of a major documentary special titled Livy Eloi vis BLD. Set to air this month, the special dives deep into the series of legal, personal, and professional events that led to the disintegration of one of Hollywood's most anticipated projects. In this extensive news feature, we unpack the key developments, controversies, and cultural impact of the feud that has drawn in lawyers, media figures, and fans alike. The collaboration began with immense optimism. Both Lively and Baldoni were attached to produce and star in the film adaptation of Colleen Hoover's best-selling novel It Ends With Us. Fans of the book were ecstatic to see two major Hollywood names bring the beloved characters to life. However, creative differences quickly surfaced. Sources close to the production noted contrasting visions for the film's tone, narrative direction, and casting choices. While Lively leaned toward a dramatic, emotionally grounded approach, Baldoni reportedly pushed for a more stylized, cinematic interpretation. These early disagreements, though manageable at first, soon deepened into artistic contention. What initially seemed like typical creative tension evolved into a more serious legal matter. Reports surfaced that Lively had filed formal complaints regarding the management of the production, particularly around alleged misuse of marketing assets and disagreements over script revisions. Baldoni's team, in response, claimed that contractual obligations were being misrepresented. Eventually, this legal wrangling spilled into the public eye, with fans and commentators taking sides in an increasingly divided online discourse. In early 2025, Lively's legal representatives issued subpoenas to several online personalities and media figures, suggesting a coordinated attempt to discredit her. This marked a turning point, pulling media influencers like Candace Owens, Andy Signore, and Perez Hilton into the spotlight as potential witnesses or contributors to the feud's public portrayal. The feud exploded across social media. On platforms like X, formerly Twitter, Reddit, and TikTok, debates raged over who was at fault. Supporters of Lively argued she was standing up for creative integrity and ethical treatment, while Baldoni's defenders highlighted his consistent work as a filmmaker with a positive message. The documentary Lively's Betrayal features clips of these online discussions and expert analysis from film critics, legal analysts, and psychologists. The special examines the role of modern fandoms and how public opinion can influence or be influenced by celebrity conflicts. The creators of Lively's Betrayal claim the documentary aims to present a fair and factual account of the events. Produced by an independent team unaffiliated with either star, the special uses exclusive interviews, court filings, leaked emails with consent, and first-hand accounts from set insiders. One of the documentary's producers, Marisol Grant, explained in a press briefing, "Greater than, this is not a hit piece. We're trying to show the mechanics of how a promising film can become a battleground of conflicting ambitions, media spin, and contractual pitfalls. We think the audience deserves the truth, not just headlines." Among the more controversial aspects of the feud is Lively's legal decision to subpoena several figures she claims were part of an effort to smear her reputation. Candace Owens and Andy Signore, both public figures with substantial online followings, were named in legal documents as individuals who either shared or amplified defamatory content. Owens publicly denied any wrongdoing, calling the subpoena an intimidation tactic. Signore, who operates a YouTube commentary channel, called the move massively hypocritical and insisted he would not disclose his